What are we doing here, Michael?
Oh, yeah. This is the start of the podcast, I guess. We're just talking about torn labrums, and I feel like we all need to stand up and sit down and give a good grunt to
Dad
really
grunt?
establish our dadness in the room. It's like a
This feels like two on two
or it's
right
just
now.
or it's just the
yeah.
It's a good relief.
yeah.
Honestly, I think I pulled something in my neck when I walked in. That's
Yeah.
just there's a
Yeah.
kink.
Yeah.
It's okay.
That's all right. Yeah. I mean, you're a pretty physical guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at the
just-
physique.
I mean,
Physical
as you
guy.
can tell.
Look at him.
Define a physical guy. I don't know what that means.
Physical specimen.
Physical dads.
Yeah, physical dads. He's just he's getting after it every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether it's walking, running, biking,
Yeah.
dadding.
Yeah.
I mean, just getting after it.
That's encouraging.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's encouraging for me because I don't do any of that. Yeah. So
So you're a non-physical dad.
yeah, for sure. For sure. Anyways, geez Louise. Okay, yeah, so this is it. We're full blown into it.
We're doing it.
Welcome to
Do we say it all at once?
For the Dads. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
Come on.
1, 2, 3.
For
For
the
the
Dads.
Podcast.
Podcast.
That feels weird.
Podcast.
That did feel
Podcast.
weird.
Kind of like when you're singing Happy Birthday and like
Yeah.
people have got like a couple different nicknames.
It's really true. You're like, what are we gonna say? What are we gonna say?
Right.
What?
Rye guy.
Yeah.
Uh,
Anyways,
Well, anyways, yes,
Go ahead.
welcome to the For the Dads podcast. This is a dream that's been cooking, broiling, simmering for a while. But finally we're here. We're doing it. We're all together in one room, which was a feat in and of itself.
I know.
But we are here to
We're
hopefully,
dressed. Nobody even has stains on. It's like we got clean clothes.
I hope you guys are just good at editing.
It's fresh.
Okay. Yeah, you guys can just take all that out, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. But we are here to hopefully encourage, challenge, and help other dads who are like us, who are just trying to figure it out, trying to be a good dad, try to be present, try to love our wives well. And so that's why we're here. So I think obviously they just heard a bunch of us talking about nonsense and they don't know who we are. So I think we should just go around and do our dad
Yeah.
intros.
Yeah.
I don't know if we need theme music or if we need like a
Cue the music now.
Yeah, cue
Yeah.
the music now. You're gonna see the music pop up right now. But who wants to go first?
I'll kick it off here.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, this is the Dadcast, here to encourage all the average dads because we're just four average guys, and I don't think we have
Straight up.
any super insight. None of us I think went to school to be a dad. There's nothing crazy about us, but I think our power lies together.
Mm,
So I'll kick it off here. My name is Ryan Matterick. I'm a dad of two. I've got a 11-year-old daughter named Allison, 6-year-old boy named Logan, and I am married to my wonderful wife Megan of 13 years.
wow.
I'm just your average dad.
Nice.
Yeah, average dad. Wow.
13
That's a
years.
long
years.
time.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's awesome.
I'm about to
Yeah.
touch 8, and I'm like, whew.
I knew that already, but when I
know.
heard you say it, I
Well,
was
I
like,
think
wow.
am I the elder dadsman here?
You
I
are.
think you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to
Yeah.
rock 37 years of age this
Mm,
December.
Whoa.
Wow,
I know.
the king. Okay, I guess I'll go next.
We're gonna be looking to you.
Yeah. So what do you think we should do about
Well,
We're going to be asking him all the questions.
Yeah, I think so.
My name is Michael Hawks. I am a father of 2 with 1 on the way, so 3. I have a little boy who is 5, about to turn 6, named Lev. I have a little girl who's 2, named Noah, and 1 in the oven who my wife is trying to convince me to not find out the gender of this baby until it's born,
Which is nuts.
which is crazy because modern technology would suggest that why would we do that? But
Yeah. Congrats,
neither
by the way.
yeah, thanks, man.
Congrats.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, that's big time.
Yeah, and I think it could be cool, like you got a preteen.
yep.
I've got 1 in the oven. I think it's cool that I don't personally, but I think it's just cool the wide span of kids that we have, and it's just like I think a lot of dads either if they're expecting their first or they're hoping one day to be a good dad that they can kind of find themselves, or they have one in college, like hopefully they can find themselves in our
Yeah.
wide range of life experiences. So
As long as we can all just like laugh about the journey.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think that is a key thing is we are on a journey. We are not experts, but we care about being a good dad,
Yeah.
and that's why we're here. So
How old are you?
how old am I?
Yeah, you
That's a
forgot
good
that part.
question. 31. Sorry, I just always have to.
93.
Yeah,
Carry the
93
one.
minus 2. 31. 31. I'm married to the most beautiful lady in the whole world, Alyssa Hawks. So, yeah, we have been married almost 8 years.
Awesome.
Yeah, almost 8 years. So cool. I'll kick it to you, Noah.
Props.
Noah Marvin. I been married to my wife for 5 years now. Taylor, we met in college. She's awesome, the love of my life. We have one kid together. We have a boy. He's going on 8 months here. His name is Brooks Asher, and he's been awesome. Big blessing to us. I think a big reason why we wanted to get this going too was just like you said, we're just your average guys, like trying to figure it out. There's a lot of things that I feel like I don't do as well at than what I need to, and I'm trying to navigate those waters. And I think it just be really helpful, just being able to connect with you guys, connect to an audience, and just do this stuff together. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. So
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
awesome.
Good to have you, Noah.
Awesome. Yeah, good to have you.
yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
I'm Nick Bowen. I'm 30 years old. Dad of 4 boys. So buckle up.
Big
I'm going
guy.
to tell you all their
Yeah.
names and
Wow.
ages. Okay, let's see. My oldest is 11. His name's Braylon. The next oldest is Beckham. He is 6. Then Baylor, who is 5. And then Boston, who is 4. So 4, 5, 6, and 11. All 4 boys. They all start with a B, so that's really confusing. But yeah, I'm just super proud to be their dad. They're awesome. My wife, Kayla, she's amazing. She is a saint, honestly. I don't know how she does what she does,
We've
but
seen it. It's
Yeah, we've
amazing.
seen
yeah,
It's cool.
everybody who's ever met her would immediately know. But yeah, it's just super cool to be here with you guys and to be able to lean on you guys and get advice from other dads is a really cool thing. We all think we have it together sometimes, but we really don't. So it'll be cool to be able to share some stories and insights with each other.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm really glad that you talked about how confusing it can be to know who your kids are because of I'm literally like when I see them running around the church, I'm like, I know Bray's the oldest. I know Boston's the youngest. I'm just like going, which
that
one?
middle
Yeah. Beckham and Baylor just get forgotten. Like they're just like nobody knows their names. They're kind of look the same and but everybody remembers Boston. We now call him Bobby.
Yeah.
For some
Big
reason.
Bob the Builder.
Bobby. His name just changed to Bobby one day. Get over here, Bobby. But yeah,
That's awesome,
it's
man.
fun.
So yeah, I mean, we have just a wide range of experience, little experience, a lot of experience, great stories, I'm sure, that will be unpacked. And I think too, to kind of share a little bit, I know Noah, you guys kind of shared a little bit about your why. I think for me personally, I think I keep always asking myself, like, why a podcast? Why a video cast? Why, like, what's the point, And I know each of us, I know our hearts, like, it's not just to create more content. Like, this avenue is completely saturated with a lot of amazing stuff. There's a lot of amazing dad podcasts that are out there. But I think for me, it's kind of twofold. The first is that I need this community. Like, I need dudes
sure.
in my
Yep.
life who know where I'm at, know what I'm struggling with, know how I'm like stinking as a dad, know how I'm succeeding as a dad, and just kind of like celebrate that along the way and share that with one another. So I know that hopefully we can create that digitally for other people, but I know for me sitting in this room, in this chair, like that is first and foremost, like I need this community.
I think
Go
I
ahead.
think my why is like I'm like you. I need this too because I don't talk a lot. Most people know this about me. And I need to talk. Like I need to talk to other dudes and like because I bottle everything up. I'm one of those people. Stuff it down, and then it's too late. So it's good to get stuff out in the air, talk about it with other men, and hopefully, it's some form of therapy almost.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I
Absolutely.
need that local community. All my friends are kind of spread out across the country, and it's either working and then it's dadding
Mm-hmm.
as soon as work is done.
Yep.
Yep.
And the kind of in between time, I guess if you call that the me time, mine is like a solo endeavor most of the time, unless Nick joins me for the bike ride. It's like I'm riding the bike. I'm just outside, and it's just the quiet time to center myself. But
Mm-hmm.
I think the missing piece is that community, that dadness.
Dadness. I
Yeah,
love that.
like growing up, there was always sports. You always had like your gang of friends, and you were always like amongst a community. And I don't really have that as much anymore. It's something
Yep.
I grew up skateboarding, and that had it.
Mm-hmm.
Like anytime I would move, or if I went to anywhere for travel, I could go to that skate park, and it was like boom, I was in that community.
That's really cool.
And
Yep.
I know that's something that like I miss. That's cool. And then I think the other big thing for me is having something that I can look back on. You can call it a legacy. I'm somebody who, I do photography and video for work, so I love like documenting, and I've really more so the past like 5 years understood the value in documenting and how powerful that is for family.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like when those memories are gone, when those people are gone, like that's it. They're gone. And I think it's cool that we're kind of living in the digital age, and I don't want my kids to scroll back on my Instagram. RIP. I don't use it anymore, but which is even worse because I don't have like the good Ryan necessarily. It's just like, they can like look back and just see like college dad and be like, yep, that's like the only digital memories I got. And I was like, wish I could have left you something with a little bit more life advice. So here we are.
You mentioned something earlier, and it reminded me of like that's one thing that you don't get warned about growing up is like how many friends you'll lose once you
Yeah.
graduate from college and start your career. Like, and it's not like purposeful. Like it's just life happens and you get really busy and you start having kids and I mean Noah, like we played football together. Like the guys that I played football with in high school and college, like those were some of the best times and friendships. And now it's like they're not there anymore. Like you don't necessarily have time to just constantly communicate with these people.
Yeah.
And so this is good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gonna be great.
I think that's awesome. Like bringing that up. I think a big reason too, like while we're trying to get into this, you guys touched on pretty much everything. But for me, you brought up the football portion, sports. Ryan brought up sports and activities. It's like that is such a big part of my life. And my dad was my hero, right? My grandpa is my hero. So it's like I have such a standard to live up to, I feel like. And I don't ever want to let my kid down or my kids down. And I want to do the very best job that I possibly can. But I looked up to them, and I had, whether you have a biological father, right? People listening or whatever that looks like, somebody has had a father figure in their life to influence them in a positive way, whether it's a coach, some kind of mentor, teacher, whatever. And that's kind of my background, is where I started out into coaching and teaching. And I noticed all these kids who didn't have fathers. And it's like, statistics show when kids do not have a father present, and they're absent from that, they're a lot more likely to have behavioral issues, maybe get into crime, drugs, that kind of thing. So I think it's just so important for kids growing up to have a father to look at, to lead them through life. And I'm thankful for those relationships that I had, and I'm like, man, we've got to do this. I've got to get connected, because we want to be that, for our kids. So
Yeah, that's so good. I think so. The second fold of my why is I was one of those kids that kind of struggled growing up. Like, me and my dad have a great relationship now, which I'm super thankful for. But there was a part in my life where he wasn't kind of around, and I come from a broken home, and I think there's a lot of fathers in our generation specifically who maybe have come from that broken home, and they almost feel this pressure of like, I have to do it better, or my kids are going to end up like me. And it's like, I do not want, my kids, however many I have, to be like that. And so I think with that though can bring a lot of pressure, and that can bring a lot of guilt, because when anything goes wrong in the house, or I mess up and do something wrong, I feel this weight of like, oh no, like my son's going to look at me like I did when I was young, or to my dad, and this, that, and the other. And so I think my why is one I love how we called it For the Dad's podcast. Like, hopefully this podcast is for the dad. For me, that's like just trying to make it. That's just trying to get through, trying to do a good job, but feels this guilt and wanted to encourage them. It's like, you don't have to carry that. You don't have to carry that stuff around. And two, like, that burden of fatherhood is a weight, and it's a good weight, but it shouldn't be carried alone. I think a lot of times, like you were saying, like, we grow up in life and we have all these big communities, you know, whether it was Boy Scout, whether it was football, whether it was sports and skateboarding or whatever it may be, video games, like whatever it may be, like we all find that community somewhere. And then it was like after college, you're surrounded by it all day, every day. It just goes away.
Yeah.
And it was like, wait, what am I supposed to do? Like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. And especially coming from a broken home, I was kind of like, oh no, like, how do I have a kid? And oh my gosh, like, what am I supposed to do about that? You know? And so hopefully this is for the dads that maybe feel that way too, who struggle with that pressure to do it right, to be the best. And you hopefully find encouragement through some of the stories that we share during this time. Okay, so to kick it off, that was a lot. We're getting there. I love it. This is awesome. Yeah, this is awesome. I would love to go around this first episode and kind of talk about your dad's superpower.
Yeah.
Okay. So what makes you unique as a dad? What makes you stand out in a group of dads for your family? Does anybody have anything that kind of comes to mind straight off the rip?
Okay, so I had, some kind of lighter notes on some dad superpowers, and honestly, mine kind of takes two hands
Okay.
to get her done. And I might need your microphone for this. Or here. So this is one of those fun little things that you can do with your kids just to blow some minds. I mean, that's a good train whistle.
That's a really good train whistle.
And then, like, if you can really, I don't even know if I can get this first take, but we'll see. It's like a decent bird call at best. Sometimes you get those high notes that are real cool. But I feel like, you go ask your average, like, 20-year-old who doesn't have kids, they can't do that.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like that's a skill.
That was crazy. You know those little like wooden toy like choo-choo things?
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about, you blow into?
It sounded just like that.
It did, yeah.
Guess who never had one as a kid? Had to use his hands.
Jeez Louise.
I know.
I need to step it up. I don't know.
What am I doing?
I'm not doing
What
this
am
right.
I doing?
I mean, I think you
Because
got
I can't
time.
do any of that.
I mean,
I've never even attempted those things.
Yeah, your boy's 8 months. I
Yeah,
think
he's 8 months.
You
But
have
I need
time.
to get ready.
I know.
'Cause it's quick, man. Like,
One day he's gonna be like, "Dad, can you sound like a train?"
yeah.
And you'll be like sweating bullets.
Yeah, you'll be like, no, but I know a guy.
Bring it. Calling
Call
Ryan.
me up. Call me up.
Can you do that
YouTube and like
choo-choo thing?
train whistle.
I know.
that
Besides
choo-choo thing.
sounding like an awesome train, I think one thing that probably got bestowed upon me from my father is just like a general sense of chillness. I think I have a pretty level head, and there's times, of course, when buttons get pushed or I'm too tired or I'm training too much and it's just like energy levels are like low and I'm like my body's stressed and like I have that tipping point, right? Who doesn't? But I think overall I come in with a cool head. I try not to be coming at my kids with like a lot of intense energy because that can maybe rub off a bit. So I try to be like the dad who comes in and is like, let's be calm, like, hey, yeah.
I could imagine that being like a skateboard guy. Just
Yeah,
kinda
I guess
like,
so.
I'm like,
I
just
know.
with it.
I guess
Catch a wave.
the one little key
a wave.
takeaway from that is like, don't sweat the small stuff.
Mhm.
I try not to.
Yeah.
I was just listening to another podcast and they're like, yeah, like, I don't want to put like my fears onto my kids.
That's
That's
true.
a big thing. So it's
Yeah.
just like, if I'm scared that my son's like walking on the edge of a trail and could like fall down the ravine into the water, I'm going to be like, I hope he's got some good sense about him. And I was like, how bad could it really be? I was like, I wouldn't mind rescuing him if I had to.
That'd make you dad of the year.
Yeah, you gotta. But how much freedom did we have as kids?
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like I had a ton of freedom.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Yeah, I used to ride bikes around town, and if I didn't come home, they were like, "Well, he's got to be somewhere."
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, he's got to be
That is
somewhere.
nuts.
The
Now I
amount
wouldn't
of
do
the
that.
amount of freedom we had as
Yeah.
a kid, and now it's like there's no way I would let my kid just roam the neighborhood. Like,
No shot.
no.
Yeah. Come
No
home for
shot.
dinner. See you in, I don't know, 5 hours. Bye.
Yeah. Noah, what about you, man? What's your
Sure.
superpower?
Yeah. So I got an 8-month-old, so I really am trying to figure this thing out. Like, I don't know.
What do you mean? You don't have it all figured out?
Yeah, right. So
Come
it's
on,
like,
dude.
I think the biggest thing for
You've
me
had
is
8 months.
I know,
bro.
right? That's long
Come
enough.
on.
And 9 before that.
Yeah,
Wake up.
that was the problem. The 9 before that, I didn't know what to do. Like,
Yeah.
I should have prepared a little bit more. You know, short period of time where I've had a kid, and I know what I'm not good at.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, I mean, I guess you know we all have our gifts and superpowers, but like I figured out what I'm not good at more than what I'm good at. And my wife will tell. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, she'll definitely point
Heard
those out
amen
for you.
somewhere.
It's like 2-step commands. I can't do that. Multitasking, can't do that. No, that's a story for another day. But I think I actually had to ask my wife. I'm like, I can't. I don't know what I'm good at. And she's like, she actually talked to me about this before. She's like, well, some of your gifts are you're present.
Yep.
Like you're present. Like when you're here, you're here.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Regardless of work schedule, whatever. I might only see my kid for an hour a day or a couple hours a day, if that. Then there's some days where I'm with them half the day. But when you're there, you're there. I think that's really, really big. And like the willingness to serve. So this kind of goes out. This is being a dad, but it's also being a good husband in a sense of like, what does my wife need right now?
Yeah.
Because it's like you come home and you're just like, man, I don't want to go do this or I don't want to do that. I just want to spend time with Brooks, you know? But there's certain times where, you know, you're working as a team and it's like, I've got to put these things away. I got to put my selfish needs and desires away to the side because it's about them. And so I think just navigating that and just being willing to do what it takes. And that looks different on a day-to-day basis. But I think just being present in the moment, whatever that looks like, and then just being willing to serve, whether it's doing small stuff like putting dishes away, whatever, but whatever you can take off. I think our jobs as husband is whatever we can take off of our wives so they can be the best moms, right? And the best wives. Like, where can we fill that gap, right? Where can we fill that need? And I think that's being a good dad, right? I think it all comes together that way.
I
That's
love
really
that.
good.
That's
Yeah.
solid.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
I
really
tried
good.
to do that yesterday because it's something that I kind of struggle with. Like
Yeah.
I know I'm like inherently a selfish person. I guess you could say like most humans are, but it's like, no, listen, I'm a selfish person.
No, Ryan, I'm a
Listen.
selfish person.
I'm more selfish than
I like my alone time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that I don't love my family, it's that like my hobbies and interests are things that I do.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be skateboarding, still kind of is, still shred a little bit when I can.
Can you kickflip?
Yeah.
Oh man, I gotta see. it.
Yeah. It's not going to look pretty anymore, but
Hey,
it
as long as you land it, I don't really care.
yeah, so and then it was like running and then it's like cycling, like mountain biking, like hiking, just well, those are all kind of endeavors that are a little bit difficult to like tow the whole family behind and go do, right? So yesterday I wanted to go buy a mountain bike. I got off work early, worked late the past few days, got home, made some lunch, and I was like, man, there's a bunch of dishes here. My wife loves a clean house. And that's like her compulsion. It's like when she's stressed, she cleans. And so it was like, how do I help alleviate her? How do I give her something? I could just book out the door and be gone and just leave it because there's dishes, big deal. But it's just like, I kind of knew, I was aware, right? We have that relationship, we know each other. And I was like, I'm going to put all the dishes away, clean them, put them in the dishwasher and start the dishwasher. And she'll come home and she won't have to do it. She'll have clean dishes. When the kids have dinner, they can rip them out and it's good to go. And it's like such a small task, but you're right. Like I love the service thing. That's
Yeah.
a
Acts of
solid-
service.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah. It's like a small investment here for something, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think too, like for me, I struggle. I'm more selfish. I'm more selfish.
We'll have a whole episode about it.
Who is selfish? Please stand up. So I think for me, the present, like where my feet are at, I need to be. That's kind of the thing for
I
me.
love that saying.
Yeah.
Be where your feet are.
Be where my
Yeah.
feet are at.
Yeah.
And especially with my kids, like my son knows when I'm not there, like
Mhm.
mentally and emotionally.
Mm.
He's very empathetic, super aware of other people, how they're feeling. And if I'm not there mentally and emotionally, he knows and he just acts out. Like he acts out. And I'm like, man, why is he acting out? You know? And then I'm like looking in the mirror and like, you're selfish. Yeah.
Who's that guy?
This guy. So for me, the present part is super big. And I think for me, my superpower, it's actually really funny, is it's something that my mom kind of instilled in me when we were growing up, but we always danced like at the house, just like kicked it out and just, I mean, we
Sick.
broke out and just started dancing. And so, Alyssa calls me like the CEO of dancing. So like that's what I own in the family.
Yeah.
So like if there's ever a situation or we're doing dishes or we're cleaning or we're somebody's upset, I need to put Bluey on, like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's like, we're going to boogie. Like, we're just going to boogie. And it's become like a big thing. I remember my son when he was little, like, I think his athletic ability now comes from the EDM music and jumping that we used to do when he was in
Not
COVID.
Alyssa.
Oh yeah.
I mean, a little bit of Alyssa because she is the better athlete. But that's
Who's the
neither here nor
kicker?
there. That's neither here nor. But I think a lot of it did come from like our ability to just jump up and down and dance. And so I think my superpower, and two, I bring a light into the room, a joy into the room. And so whenever I pull into the driveway after a long day of work, I literally have to take a beat
Yeah.
and be like, I need energy before I go in here because I know what they're
Feel that.
expecting. They're expecting the dancing, go outside, let's wrestle, Dad.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
We need to circle back to that point because I need some advice on that because that's tough for me.
yeah. I mean, it is. And it's like some days I get home and I'm like, I don't want to be that. Like, I want to go in and I want to sit down and I want to be like, I want to put the game on.
Yep.
I want to watch the Hokies almost mess it up every game. Like, I want to like do my thing.
Have you ever heard of couch?
Yeah.
Dude, couch.
Ouch.
So nice
It's a
some days.
dangerous spot.
Yeah. I just took a dad nap and snore. But it's just being present and dancing and being there with my kids and being like, hey, let's just go outside. Like, let's go outside. Let's go outside. So
Yeah.
I feel like for me, that's my superpower. That's something that I don't step into a lot of times, but I need to like be reminded all the time.
Yeah.
Nick, what's your superpower?
Yeah, I think mine is being able to include my boys in whatever it is that I need to do. So like as dads, we have a lot of tasks that we have to do, especially
Yeah.
on the weekends or
Mhm.
after, late at night or something. But like being able to include them in those makes them feel
Mm,
like
that's good.
ownership
Yeah.
and gives them that kind of I don't know the word for it, but
It's good bonding.
Mhm.
yeah,
For
it's a good way
sure.
to bond.
Yeah.
Like, because I mean, there's stuff we've got to do. There's stuff we got to take care of, and being able to include them in that just makes them. I don't know. A lot of dads try to maybe just do it on their own, or
Well, I guess like the opposite is almost like, sorry, I'm too busy for you. I have to go do this.
yeah,
Well, I
And
mean,
it's
in
like-
practically, like you can do it 10 times faster. Like,
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's all. Like I think of my dad. Like I would always like try to help him out,
Mhm.
whatever it is. So it's like
hold the
I
flashlight.
had, yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, but like I feel like you have a sense of ownership because you want to when you're growing up. I want to be like my dad.
Mhm.
So it's like how he walked, how he talked, whatever it was. Like I couldn't get enough of dad.
Mhm.
So it's like for you to influence your kids that way, give them ownership, and then hey, we're doing this together.
Yeah.
And you're bringing them alongside you. Like that's so awesome.
yeah.
Mhm.
Like the
Yeah,
other
it's
day,
perfect.
I had to go get gas for the mower,
Mhm.
and I was like, Bobby, come on,
Mhm.
Oh.
hop in the truck. Bobby hops in the truck. He's so excited,
Yeah,
like we're
man.
going to get gas. Like
Yeah.
I let him fill it up at the pump, like just little stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and I think too, like just the time that I've known you and gotten to know your kids, like I see that rubbed off on them in a good way, in a good way. But like I was literally throwing football with Bob, and he was like Big Bobby, and he gets the ball. I mean, he's a tyke, like he's so little, but man, he's got this form. Like as soon as he grabbed the ball, I was like, "Hey, throw it to me." He went like this and kind of looked at himself and was like, it didn't even look at me. It was just all about the form, and he threw it, and I was like, "That's Nick."
Man,
Nick
what an
looks at
all-star.
himself when he
Hey,
throws
that's
for
great.
sure. For sure. I would love to hear more about like how you guys incorporate that because I struggle with that. Like I have like a certain way that I want to do things. I have a
Yeah.
certain way of like how I want this situation to pan out. Like
Yeah.
I would love to incorporate that superpower.
Well, what's
in my
great
life.
is you can trick your kids,
Oh,
right?
yes.
Like
Yes.
you, you don't have just make them think they're a part of it.
Yeah.
Like they don't actually have to fix the thing that you're
Yeah,
trying. Like just make them feel a part.
Yeah. That's really good.
It's like creative problem
Mhm.
solving, you know? It's just like when you have a task to do, sometimes it's like in your brain so linear and you're like, no, I need to go to like A to B. And then like you throw a kid in the mix who wants to help and you're like, okay, now you got to be creative. Like,
Yeah.
what can they own
Mhm.
in this situation?
Mhm.
And sometimes like it's a part of the equation that you don't even need to solve the problem.
Mhm.
Yep.
It was like, it's the middle of the day, but guess what? You're going to wear a cool headlamp.
Yep. And
And they're going to be like, whoa,
and they're
that's
spending time with
sick.
you. And
Yeah.
honestly, that's
Yeah.
what they want. They
That's all
want
they
to
want.
they want you to be present. They want to
Mhm.
spend time with you. Like that's all a kid wants, really.
That's so good.
Yeah, it's
That's
important.
so good. Yeah. I think I'm just I'm not a perfectionist, but like in certain things, it's like, I just want to get this done so I can then do the thing I don't want to do.
Mhm.
And, yeah, Lev's like, can I help? And I'm like, sure. Like, come on. And that's just a confession. Like, I
Yeah.
need to grow in that.
Yeah.
But,
Make him do the stuff you don't want to do.
yeah. Can you, your mom asked me to do this. Can you go take the trash out? No.
I make Bray do so much stuff. I feel bad. He's 11 now and he
Yeah.
can do things. So
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
hey Bray, go
Oh,
do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that too. My daughter's 11 and I don't know. She she kind of like runs from any sort of like task. And I'm just like, you're 11. Like you are like so strong. You could do anything. And I
Yeah.
think she's the person who like lacks the natural confidence.
Mm.
And so I just really want to like build that up in her and be
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I know like you don't know how to do this, but I was
Yeah.
like, you're so smart.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like literally, you're so
Yeah.
smart. Like you can definitely figure that out.
Yeah.
Like just
Yeah.
just do it.
Yeah, that's so good too. And I think that to kind of put a bow on all this, like, I think the biggest thing is we need to be present. We need to watch our words, because the first track that a kid's going to hear in their life, in their brain, whatever comes their way, is probably going to be their dad's voice. Like what they've spoken over them, what they've said about them. And I've noticed for me, maybe that is another one of my superpowers, is whenever like I take Lev golfing or we go outside and throw football and he misses a catch or he like shanks a ball like me, he gets like super mad and super angry and he's just like, I'm the worst at this. And I'm like, bro, who told you that? Like, who told you you were bad? Who told
Yeah,
you were the
that's good.
worst? Like, if you heard that, and I'm like, bro, if have I said that to you? Like, did I say that? And he's like, no, like it's all good. He's just like smacking his driver against the ground. I'm like, hey, bro, like, and I have to like remind him and reassure him, like, brother, like this doesn't define you. Like, this is a joyous thing that we can come out here and play. Like, okay, you dropped the ball. Like, the guys in the NFL drop the ball. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Just catch with your hands next time.
But then when
Yeah.
you're on the golf course,
yeah, I'm like,
I'm like, Michael, dude, you're good, man.
So
You're good.
two of my kids
suck.
are two of
told
my
you that?
kids lack confidence.
Mm.
Kind of like you said with Allison.
Yeah.
Two of my kids lack confidence, and the other two are overconfident. So I have to be careful what I say
it's a watch. Yeah.
to
There's a
each
lot.
one of them, because like they're so different.
Yeah.
And the like Bray and Baylor, they both lack self confidence,
Mm.
and you can tell. And so you have to speak words of
Mhm.
affirmation and
Yeah.
like tell them that they are enough and they're good
Mhm.
enough.
Mhm.
And the other two are too confident, and you got to bring them down a notch, like knock them off the pedestal
Yeah.
a little bit. So
Yeah. That's what I do with Liz. Sometimes like, you want to race, bro? Like for real race? Yeah.
Oh,
Pull a
that's
hammy.
that needs to be a whole nother episode.
Yeah, just racing
Of
our
just
kids.
like the kids when they're like, I beat dad today.
Yeah.
Like, did you though?
Yeah. Did you?
Dad's competitive and I had a hard time
Yeah.
throttling this, but I gave it to you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so good.
I don't think I'll ever let my kid win.
yeah. There's
like,
no
it's just
chance.
can't.
How will they be
Yeah.
have any resilience in the world?
I remember
if they
the
beat
first.
me.
I remember the first time I beat my dad in golf, and I was like 16, probably.
yeah.
It's like,
Dude,
I made it.
I'm the
Like,
man.
I'm-
Yeah, it took 16 years.
And then I realized like my dad's like a very average golfer. When I
You
get
grow up
older,
and see a swing, you're
Oh,
like,
boy.
wow. That's not
like,
what
it
that
took
used
me
to
till
look like.
16 to beat him. Like,
Maybe I am bad.
Yeah.
no, he's
Whoops.
pretty good.
Yeah. But man, I think just to wrap up this episode, a challenge to all the dads out there, like just think to yourself, like, what is your superpower? What is the thing that makes you unique and adds to your kid's life? Maybe you don't have a kid and you're thinking about being a dad one day. Go ahead and start thinking about this stuff. Like, it doesn't you don't have to be preparing and thinking about being a good dad only when you become a dad, or even if like that ship has sailed and your kids are in college or they're grown up, you're still a part of their life as a grandfather and as a father. What is that superpower? Ask your wife, ask your friends, and then just put it into practice. Like, go home, be present, words of affirmation, invite them along to do whatever it is that you need to do. Have a dance party, like whatever it may be.
Practice train
Um,
whistles.
Yeah, practice that. I'm gonna have to get on that. I can do a mean ow, but I cannot do a train whistle.
Ooh.
Yeah, but anyways, whatever your dad's superpower is, just implement it and see what happens. Like, who knows? So thanks for joining us today for the first ever. Wow. 001.
Wow.
Wow.
Pilot.
Wow.
Would you just
Wow.
look at it?
Wow.
We did it.
Would you just look at it?
Yeah.
What a day.
I
Wow.
know.
Wow.
It's a great way to
Anyways.
start the day.
Great start of the day. Thanks for joining us for the Dads podcast.
Cheers.
For the
We'll see you
dads.
next time.
For the dads.
For the dads,
Four
for the dads.
Four dads.
For dads.
For
For the
the
dads.
It is
Couple
spelled
of
for,
guys.
if you didn't know.
Four. Not FORE. We were talking about golf. Not that. FO.
Peace.
Okay, we're done. Bye.